I don't know if you can see it from the camera, but that side there is the wavy side. That's the part that came off of the other cut. So I want to straighten that out. Alright, so that's a quarter of a log there. And now what I'm going to do to that is I went down to the center where the corner is on that angle, on the 90-degree cut, and then I dropped down 1 inch because I'm going to cut a 2-inch board out of that. Okay, so I'm down 1 inch below the center of where the pith would be, and then I'm going to be 1 inch above it as well. Actually, I should probably cut the top one first, so I think I'll go 1 inch above it and cut that off first. Now this binder that I'm putting on there is not how I want to do this. And I've been talking to a guy that's been leaving me comments about putting a center point at each end of the log to hold it. And I think he has the best idea, and I'm going to do that. So what I'm going to be doing is making this jig in here for the dog. I'm going to turn it on a 90 and go from one side to the other, but I'll make them and leave the other ones in place, I believe. Now putting that on a 15-degree angle there still keeps me in the center of the log. If you could see the pit, but naturally it's cut out, so it's an imaginary line, but it's still going to give me a center line cut. Now, the thing is I can probably get a 1-inch board out of that yet, so that's what I'm going to try to do. I really don't like using that binder, but it was the fastest thing to put on there to see if the angle part of this tool is working, which it is. But I'm going to make that other tool. I think that guy has a good idea. This definitely is a lot more work cutting this like this. You can see why you have to have something on there to hold that. So even though the angles are right, the way it's being held down isn't working, so I'm gonna have to come up with that plan sooner than I thought. Alright guys, that's enough for today. I'm a little disappointed in it, but we'll get it. Bye. Okay guys, so even though we had that failure to hold the board, this one, which you can see is beautiful quarter sawn wood. This one, which you can see, don't mistake the teeth cuts from the saw, from the you can see how straight the sapwood is there. The teeth marks from the chainsaw make the curve or the annual rings hard to see. You can see it here though, nice. You can see it here, nice, and here it's still all quarter sawn, and that's from changing those angles that I have done. So there's a 2x, a 1x, 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 1x out of those quarters that I got, and I still have half the log plus a small piece to go. But generally the idea is, once you cut this in half right here, Okay, you put it on a 45-degree angle, cut it. Then you put it on a 30-degree angle, cut it. Those pieces that are left, like this one, and then you'll cut it on a 15-degree angle and cut it. And those are the straight boards that you get out of there. Now another problem that is a little different is, how do you cut this straight board out of here? It's a little hard to hold. May have to come up with a little different way to cut this out of here. A resaw would be nice. I have to ask for that for Christmas. Yeah, my wife, just so you guys know, I don't know if you saw, I had the DeWalt, and I'm not against DeWalt totally, but anyway, I had the DeWalt planer that I bought a couple of weeks ago for, I think it was 600 bucks. My wife says to me, is that planer going to do everything you need? I said, no, I needed a molding head cutter as well. And she said to me, well, take it back then. So without even opening it, I took it back to Lowe's. And yesterday, my wife handed me a receipt from Grizzly where she bought a planer and a molding head cutter with colonial casing, colonial base, and crown molding cutters. So when that comes in, that's when I'm going to start taking this wood out of the kiln and start shaping it. Boy, it's chilly out. I'm sweating, but as I do nothing, the sweat is like making me cold. So anyway, I got to come up with a better way of doing this. I think that the guy that I talked to, he had given me his email address. I think he got the right idea. I'm going to get a hold of him. I believe that if you take this, let me see if I'm backed up all the way. Yeah, I believe if you take this same setup and put it this way, but maybe a shorter arm there, I believe you'll be able to hold that log right in the center like he was saying. Now, I guess depends on the cleat you put on the end, whether it's going to keep it from twisting or not, but that shouldn't be hard to do, because my idea there is definitely a failure putting those pins in there. Maybe some smaller pins, maybe if you hit it down. I had gotten a comment, it'll probably work. Something's going to work, but I'm not going to give up on this because I really like the boards I'm getting out of this thing. So, well, we have some good things and we have some failures. And the other thing is the video I made earlier today about how crooked that cut is. You can see now from these other cuts that there's no dipping and diving in them. They're all nice and straight. This triangular one here, if you look down the center of it, nice and straight cut. So yeah, I believe the problem with the saw blade is something that I should have started doing right from the start. But I'm anxious to get some comments to see what the guys think. So before I forget, I'm going to take the tension off this blade because I'm pretty much done for today until I get cleaned up here. My wife just came back from shopping, so she wants to tell me something. I don't know. Anyway, whew. Alright guys, that's where we're at in north central PA. Man, this weather's slowing an old goat down. Alright, have a good one. Bye. Alright, so what I got here is a half of a log that I want to cut into a quarter. But this is the log where I had that bad cut, that wavy cut. So I'm going to make another cut 1.5 inches up off the bottom, and that ought to straighten that cut out. The difference between those two cuts is this cut just made was made without having the blade tension, and the cut looks very good. This one over here, and you can see it, you can see the dip and dive in it, is what I was trying to get rid of. So I had to waste pretty much wood. That's a nice board too. I had to use that for some kind of seat. Anyway, I had to get rid of this board off of this piece to be able to make straight cuts. It's a shame. So I got two nice quarters there. One on the bunk and one on the table over there. Plus that other piece is a little less than half of a quarter. So I'll be cutting these next.